Got you.
Alright. Yo, I'm so hard with it. When I present it, it ain't no flaw in it. My mind is militant, like I'm not Terry. If I attack, no, I shot in, but you attack with me. Uncut. I bring the chains up, put your guns up, make a plan, get your funds up. Do what you can to make your mind up. Teach the youth them before the time's up. Masasa kaina, even in the gutter, you come up or rise up. Am I polluting if they do it, put your guards up. Mama, woman, lick a shot informer. See me with the crook in the flash.
I know they call me being ran by bastard chicks. Craig houses confound by money and religion, greed and jealousy. Judgment for jobs. Say, do you got a felony? You better not make no mistakes. You'll be hungry than a pig eating slop for your breaks. Arise, mighty great people. Retake your mind, create your own sequel. I will not stand for injustice. Police come to our cribs, they only wanna bust us. You want our service? Well, gas is too high. Come with us, tell your family
bye. Watch the time go by. If a woman see the fire, look up when the blaze aside. Ain't no way that you can live if you ain't ready to die. You're not handling yours, so why you wanna fuck with mine?
My people visualize that they done lied to you. They don't follow they rules, the truth inside of you. I call them to the angels, awaken a few. Take back the earth, it belongs to you. Hard times, it ain't the half of it. I always be seeming to spend my last little bit on rent, the electric, or some knick-knack bullshit. Tryna make $1 out of 15 cents. I bet if I get 15 bricks, I stand out on the corner and get shit lit. Issues that I'm tired of dealing with. Schemes to get rich, but they only conflict. Why the bricks that we live in is red? We targets, we gotta live through these hardships.
Regardless, we on this wheel, pull your car quick. Let's turn the mic on and see you got that raw shit. Don't catch me voting, don't believe in their politics. Don't catch me repping none of this sports, none of that other shit. Be out some grown man, so watch your tone, man. Go plant a seed and watch it grow, man. Visit back to the basic places, look through your observation, silence stop conversation, working and watch your wages, go through the different phases, review the different pages, see yourself and if you understand the different stages, cause you move too slow, you carbon copy, you say you wanna follow, don't hard to copy, you just letting me close, so I watch me, there ain't no way in your life that you can pop me. Life or death, making my choice, make it precisely. To roll the dice, connect the dots, and with your price be. I'm half amazing like this price up in the right speed. And if you see me, you might see me on the back street. My occupation, true MC. I rip the mic and do it nicely. And your mind is where the hidden God is likely at. I wake up with the boom, boom, clap. Yes. Big up. One love to all the gods and goddesses in the cipher. What's good with you? How's everybody doing? Welcome to Frequency Friday. This is your host, Dr.Heru Bay. You are so my eBay. I'd like to talk to you today about some very dope things. Some very, very dope things. What's good with you, everybody? How's your week been? What's been going on with you? I know you've been making that money, making those moves, getting your mind correct, getting your thoughts in order, getting your body, mind, and soul all in alignment so that you can make sure you have everything the way that it's supposed to be. That's how you do it throughout the week, right? That's exactly what goes on throughout the week. So what's good? One love. So, I want to talk about some very important things. What's good to all the gods and goddesses in the cipher? I see all the gods and goddesses in the cipher coming in the building. Divine Maxine, what's good? What's good, Mona? What's good, Alice Wilder? What's good, Stephanie Green, Lamika? What's good, Amunir in the building? Keithon Boy, what's poppin', son? What's good, Lamika Boy? Oh, Lamika, I already said you. Stephanie, Jamie Clark, all right, and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? If I missed you, Diallo in the building. Peace to the God. Listen, if you don't know, you have to make sure that you actually definitely definitely check out the God Diallo as he comes through. He'll be here coming through to break bread and drop jewels with you very, very soon. So keep your eye out for the God so we can continue to break down some of these master jewels. Tonight, I want to talk about, some of the things that happen when we collect, these attachments and how we put these attachments inside of our being, inside of our circle, inside of ourself, right? So we have these cosmic contracts, we have these wanted and sometimes these unwanted attachments that go on inside of the cosmic body or inside the energetic body. And you also have, the alchemy of your soul, how your soul is alchemizing through different stages and it's going through different processes. Sometimes your soul is at the state or at the age of a youth. Some people's soul is at the age of a older person, of an elder. Some people's soul is at the age of a child. Some people have different type of stages and different ages and different levels of development and growth. Okay, so we want to pay attention to that. And I'm going to talk to you about true love and what is true love and how in the process of true love and how in the process of moving with this thing that we call true love, how this energy in particular is all about, keeping things in order, right? So when the attachments take place, when things start to get attached to your physical body, how that affects you later on. So we're talking about abortions. We're talking about, the way you injure or hurt or harm certain people in a physical way, like if you murder somebody, different things that will allow those attachments to come to you. So you have physical attachments to the body, attachments that you or to the soul body. I mean, attachments that you may want and attachments that you don't want. So while there are a lot of people looking and searching for spirits to communicate with them, spirits to talk with them, and they want the spirits to constantly involve themselves with them, the first spirit that you ought to be concerned with is the spirit of self, right? So true love is when you find yourself. When you love yourself, then you will be able to find love in the outside physical form, in the form of other people. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that, breaking that down. Look, I want to bring in a clip, a quick video clip to show you so you can understand. Tomorrow on Shamanic Saturdays, we're going to be giving the readings out that's going to kind of pinpoint some of these things, dealing with the attachments that go inside of your soul body or your energetic body from some of the moves that you make. So I'm going to bring in a specialist, okay, that's going to talk about this particular thing. Check the clip.
I am a spiritual behavioral analyst. I work with women with womb therapy. I teach them about the spiritual side of abortions and miscarriages and how you have a spiritual contract with each and every one of your children, regardless if you have them or not.
Okay, so this is a specialist by the name of Nani Ray. Okay, so Nandi Ray is going to be on tomorrow night on Shamanic Saturdays for you to be able to catch those vibrations. And see, that's very important that you understand how the connections are going in. Also, how spiritually or energetically the connections are coming inside your physical body when you allow the attachment. So true love, any true love that you have. Let's talk about true love. The true love is, first of all, the self involving, right? The self is involving itself inside of situations, circumstances that allow it to have pleasure. The self doesn't want to suffer. The self doesn't want to be in pain. The self doesn't want to, have problems or situations like that. The self wants to definitely be, pleased. The self wants to please itself and wants to be happy at all times. So, what you want to do is you want to find different ways, different situations to invoke so that you can always be happy. You can always have yourself happy on how in the situation. So true love itself always comes from a contract that happens before this physical life. Okay, so the familiarity that you have with people, because you have soulmates, you have twin flames, you have psychic twins. These are all based on contracts, cosmic contracts that took place before the physical body is here. The twin flame, for instance, being one soul split, right, into two different beings, and therefore you have two different sets of parents. And there's breaking down the contracts, because if one parent is not on their deen, okay, If one parent is not where they're supposed to be in order to make the union with the other parent, then it's going to knock off the contract. So there are more people involved to those type of connections. There's also several other components that go into the connection of true love and the connection of different people from several different lifetimes, and how people from different lifetimes are able to really reconnect like that. So if you have a soulmate is also based on the contract that you had from previous lifetimes. Okay, this life is when you meet people. This life is when you meet people. You understand? This life is when you meet people, and when you meet them from old lifetimes. You meet them from before. That's why when you meet people, you say, "Hey, look, you're familiar. I know something about you. I know you from somewhere, but I don't know you where from. I know you from somewhere, but where do I know you from?" And see, sometimes it's not the fact that you know them from another life. Sometimes they may remind you of somebody or things like that. But there are those other cosmic contracts where you're able to tell from different synchronicities on what is what. And that's how you can tell what is a twin flame, what is a soulmate, what is a psychic twin. And you can identify those different characteristics based on the things that you know about them, right? So we're talking about the attachments that come onto the soul body or the energetic body. So first of all, let me break down what the soul body is, because some of you may not really know what the soul body is all about. The soul body itself is not, it's your soul. So it's not something that's attached to God in the heavens, in the drawer underneath some papers, or in the back behind some boxes. Your soul is not somewhere in the janitor closet in heaven. Your soul is literally attached to your body right here, right now. And it's actually been a part of your physical makeup before you had a physical body. When you were in the womb and your mother was pregnant, she was pregnant before she knew. Before you had a body, she was pregnant. She knew she was pregnant. The doctor said, "You're pregnant. You don't really show up on the microscope yet, but you're pregnant." You already have your chakra circulatory energetic system, the melanin cluster system already in place at that point. From the moment of conception, at that point, you're microscopic in size, but yet you exist already. Everybody knows you exist at that point before you go to being able to be a small embryo. Okay, so there's a whole lot of different stages and levels of stages of growth that go into making those connections and those contracts true. So, but the treatment of other people and the way that you treat people, the way you talk to people, the way you deal with people, that's going to have a lot to do with whether or not you're fulfilling the contracts that you have etherically before you came into the physical body. Sometimes you come into the physical state, and you have these different levels of awareness. You meet people, you don't like that person. You meet another person, you like that person. And you want to basically, sometimes people want to try to turn everybody into their soulmate or everybody into their twin flame. But, there's a specific difference between twin flame and soulmate and psychic twin and all of these things. There's one similarity. There's one similarity. The similarity is the fact that you have a contract that took place before you took a physical body. So this is letting you know of your God consciousness, of your awareness of you being the all. You are the all. You are a fragment of the true self. And that's why you say I. That's why I say you, because it's I and I. It's one. It's only one way. It's only one. And so we understand that we have a similarity between us. We have a similarity. It's the willpower and the consciousness, because when you say will, your will, what your will do. Your will is alive. All right, your will is alive. You can basically create your will like you create an elemental. You know how you create elementals? You know, an elemental is created from thought form, and you can put fire and the different elements until you can make the elemental do and serve you the way that you want it to serve you. And of course, you don't want to disrespect the elemental by forgetting to feed them, by forgetting to control them and tell them what to do and train them up in the way that they should go. So that then when the thought form is old, it will not turn against you. You understand about teaching your thought forms until your old age. The thought form can continue to serve you long after you transition to the next realm. Your thought forms will be here. So you understand how to teach and control those thought forms from the beginning. Or do you just say some shit, think some shit, and then leave it alone? You see? So the attachments to the soul, sometimes they are wanted attachments from the different ancestral planes or the different etherical contracts that took place. You want some of these attachments to be put onto you. You want these attachments to be attached to you. You want the help to be there. You want the ancestors to be able to contact you. Because when you say that they're attached to you, they're attached to you, to your thinking. They're attached to your thought. They're attached to your movements. They're attached to how you act. They're attached to how you move and how you behave and how you put your moves together. That's what that means when you say the ancestors or the etherical contracts are attached to you in a wanted way. But you also have those family curses. You also have those curses where you have different people in the family proving that they want to continue to keep a certain energy flowing and going and going and moving and navigating through the family. So it goes down from uncle to cousin, from auntie to daughter, you know what I'm saying? From mother to son, from father to son. It's like it's just moving all over the place. Everybody's getting it from family secrets. So you have to start from when it comes to certain things that are in the dark, right? This is the exposure or the exposure of all fuckery. That's what you have to do. You have to expose fuckery at all costs. And first you start off by doing that by exposing it in yourself. If there's something inside you, that you see needs to be perfected. Now, listen, this is not about morals, because morals can work for you. Morals are good. Morals are good if you have a basic, way. But the thing is that you have a moral system that's already, you shouldn't have to interpret, or you shouldn't have to be told what is moralistic by what somebody tells you. You should naturally know what's moralistic. You should naturally know what is what, because you know that shit. Nobody has to tell you that you shouldn't set your mother on fire. Nobody shouldn't have to tell you that you shouldn't, you shouldn't blow your house up. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. Nobody should have to tell you certain things because you already know that. There's the natural order, the natural rhythm, the natural connection in life is something that is naturally there within the construct of the culture, right? The culture, you see what it is, you know what it is. And outside the culture, before the culture gets there, is based on what's working on inside your mind, right? When you have small interactions with your siblings or with your parents, those small interactions with your siblings and with your parents, they will tell of your character. They'll let you know exactly what your character has on deck, exactly what you're about, right? It'll expose your weaknesses and your strengths. Those interactions with your family members and in those close quarters, it'll let you know. And there's a special thing about those who have been adopted. There's a special thing about those who have been, foster children, abandoned, and orphans, and all of those things. That energy right there, to me, has always been a step up from aborted children on an energetic level. That energy right there has a special power because, you know what? It's almost like they were left because they're so powerful. You know what? Most of the clients that I have, or the people who I know, friends that I have or whatever, who were adopted, are gangster. They have a spiritual connection it's almost like a blind person who can hear hella good. You know what I'm saying? The blind person can hear, so the hearing is so amplified because they don't have the gift of sight, so another gift has been enhanced, right? So it's like a person, from my observation, a lot of the people who are adopted or even black sheeps, this also kind of fits in that same category right there, because it's like, that nourishment and that nurturing and all of that, the nutrients that you were supposed to get from parents as a child, you may have gotten it from an adopted parent, but maybe you didn't. But still, no matter what, it was different. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, to me, is a step up above the aborted child, because the aborted child went through what they went through. And so these we create attachments. These situations create attachments. And so, like, if you're one of the gods or the goddesses who are in that situation, then I'm going to let you know one thing that you've probably been wanting to know for a long time. If you're concerned about unwanted attachments, and if you're concerned about the attachments that you want that you feel like you may not have, right? First of all, what I've noticed is that people in this situation are cosmically aware automatically. There's an inner sense that's going to let you know about certain things on a cosmic level, on a grand scale, basically based off the fact that it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a big giant thing that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you want to make sure that if you're on that cosmic scale, if you're in that, if you're adopted, or if you're, you know, if you were a foster child, even if you were a black sheep, because in a lot of times this kind of seems to equate to the exact same energy. The black sheep vibration seems to equate to that same energy, you know, to where you end up being, you know, goddamn, like an aborted child. You feel like, you know, and this is where you start having suicidal thoughts, and you have that reoccurring thought form of suicide where you feel like you may just rather be off dead. You know what I'm saying? You really don't feel like you really want to keep moving or whatever. And a lot of times this spirit comes in young and it stays with you through your whole life. This is the thought form that's created through the willpower. You understand what I'm saying? The willpower that is allowing, the willpower that you're creating every time you turn against yourself. You feed that other energy. Okay, so energies, people like that, I definitely have a lot of love for, you know, because I have a lot of friends, have a lot of clients like that, or not like that, but with that experience, and there seem to be extremely powerful people. And if you're not extremely powerful, or if you have not yet shown yourself to be extremely powerful, and you're trying to figure it out, I'm going to tell you what to do again. What you want to do, these people specifically, what you want to do is you want to tap into your cosmic lineage, tap into your cosmic bloodline, tap into your cosmic lineage, tap into that, right? And by you doing that, you will find into the man. It's just like when women say, how do I find a man that's on this and that? You know, I want a man that's about knowledge and it's about this particular energy. And, you know, you say, look, you don't have to worry about finding men. You have to worry about finding yourself. You find yourself and the men will find you. The gods will find you. When you're together and you have your shit together, the gods will find you. Trust and believe that, because they're trying to find you anyway. And the right ones will find you when your vibration is right, period. And that's the way it goes. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing when it comes to this energy. If you're looking for energy, you go inside yourself and clean yourself up, and the energy will find you. You don't have to go out searching for it. These unwanted attachments, they come from things that you put on yourself, from the words that you speak. The words that you speak, the way that you talk, the way that you refer to yourself, the way that you talk down about yourself, the way you say you can't, the way you say you could, the way you say you if. All of those things they're all constantly building up an energy against you, right? They're just building up an energy against you. And that is the unwanted attachments. Now, and also you have other people who are conversing and they're talking about you to each other, you know, in groups, 2, 3, 4 or more size of the group, and they're agreeing of different things negative about you. And when that happens, that energy goes directly from them to you. Boom, just like that. And then next thing you know, you fighting off all these other spirits, and you wondering why you depressed, you wonder why you stressed out. Yo, you just got finished doing this and got finished doing that, but it's because you don't have the hygiene to protect your soul body. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the hygiene to really protect your soul, and that's the conflict. That's the problem. You have to protect yourself. You got to protect your soul. You have to protect your soul. Your soul is not something that is in the cut. It's not in the cut. It's not far away from you. It's not something that's out, you know, in the back of the field. It's not something you have to have a lock and key to get to. The soul is attached to you right here, right now. And literally, if you want it, all you have to do is go in and access it. And there's a whole lot of people that will go in and access that shit for you against your will, against your behalf. They'll do it on their behalf to forget what you want. They won't be worried about what you want, what you need. They won't care about none of that shit. They're going to be straight up on what they want to do with you. They'll do it. Okay. So, you know, you want to, when it comes to unwanted attachments, people will bring things to you, and they don't have to talk to you to bring it to you. They'll bring things to you based on, you know, things that they don't like about you, and they'll repeat things out loud, and they'll think things to themselves, and they'll put a lot of passion into it, right? Because see, a lot of people, they love on a surface level. A lot of people love on a surface level. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people, when they love you right here, right? And then when something changes, they don't love your ass no more, right? But when they hate you real quick. It's real reluctant to love. I mean, that shit is real slow. Like, they love you real slow. But when it comes time to hating you, they hate you immediately. They hate you real quick. They hate you real hard, real fast. They can't stand your ass. They ain't been can't stand you, and they'll go hard. And they'll stay mad for a long time. So that seems to be a whole lot more realistic to me than a lot of love for a lot of people, right? So the way that you can identify true love, I want to get into this right after the break. The way you can identify true love is by those cosmic contracts. Those cosmic contracts. Who do you know from past lives? Who do you know from other places? Who do you know from other times? What situations and what memories do you have in store and to the same people? You know, when you meet somebody, do you have the same memory? Can you prove it? Do you have the same memory? Do you remember the same things they remember? Can you prove it? That's a cosmic contract. Dreams, sequences, reoccurrences, spirits interdimensionally involved with connecting and putting you together. That's how you know there's a difference between just meeting somebody who you like, right? And there's also a difference between, having attachments that you don't want to attach to you, that you're moving along life with, that you act like you don't even know they're there, and you act like it's all good. You see what I'm saying? We're going to get into this right after the break.
Let me tell you why you're here. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to be. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Big up, big up, big up. Welcome back to Frequency Friday. One love, one love, one love. Yes, let's continue to do this thing that we do the way that we do what we do. Now, listen, I know a lot of you have a lot of things that you're concerned about when it comes to attachments. Attachments on your soul, attachments to the way things love to reach in and just grab onto you and don't never want to let you go. You know how it is. You know how these things love to just, they come up and they just snatch up on you, just grab you before you even realize how you're gonna get loose. They got a hold of you. They're gripping on you. You just like, you don't know what to do. They just snatch you and dragging you this way and that way. And you don't know what to do. You don't know how things are gonna be. You just constantly moving. But you see how the one thing you can understand, the eye is still constant. You have a constant focus. You have a spirit focus. You have an energetic focus. I hope I ain't lose you when I say that shit. I hope you understand what I'm saying. These attachments, you're able to get rid of them when you don't want them. The ones that you don't want, you're able to identify them and get rid of them. If you have the defense ability to basically block and be aware of things that come at you, and when you block it, it's not just a block, but it's called a reflection, right? Because a reflection is a form of defense. And in turn, it's a form of defense. That's what a reflection is. A reflection is a form of defense. Just like at a tent. Look at a tinted window. You know what I'm saying? The tinted window is a form of protection, right? And it's also a form of reflection. You go up on the tent, you can see yourself in the reflection. You see, you just can't see in there, but it's one direction. The reflection of one direction. That means that there's a protection going on. The reflection is in one direction. This is protection. Y'all hear me though. See, the protection is coming from one side. That means that anybody on this side of the tent can see outside the tent. But on the outside looking in, you're unable to see what's going on. You're unable to tell what's happening, right? And so when you're under a tent of yourself, you put yourself between a tinted window and you're not able to see. It's a window, yes, you should be able to go in and out. That's what a window is for. A window is basically to allow things to come in and come out of, right? But when you tint the window, the one thing that you're blocking is light. The one thing you're blocking is light. You're blocking the light. Blocking the light. Why are you blocking the light? If you're trying to see, you can't block the light. In the darkness, you go into the darkness inside yourself to find out what attachments you have on your soul body. Once you get into there, at that point, and you get into that part, you're completely dark and completely still, because while you're in the light and trying to do this work and you're doing it in the light, let me tell you one thing. It's not going to work very well because you're still up here doing too much shit. So that love that you found is going to distract you. It's just a distraction. That fucking money that you got is going to burn a hole in your pocket. And if not, it's going to bring you more problems than what you had when you got it. All right. That job is going to be an inconvenience. Anything that you touch and that you do will crumble to disaster if you are not doing it holistically within yourself and you're doing it based on anything outside of a holistic mind frame. At some point, the fragmentation is going to show. You have to make moves in holism. Holism. I don't give a fuck. Look, if you got a religion, your religion should be the science of self, right? Your religion should be the science of your wife, your children. Your religion should be the science of your atmosphere. You want to call that community. Your atmosphere is where you live. The atmosphere is where you live. It's where you shop at. It's where you go to school at. That's your atmosphere. You have to be there every day. Your shit should be so strong. You should affect everything around you. The crime rate should drop just because you live there. Huh? People should stop bugging so much because you live there. You should change the frequency just by your presence. That's how you know you have certain attachments inside of you. Otherwise, what do you do when you come around? When you come around, what happens? Huh? What's happening when you come around? When you come around, how do they do? How do they do when you come around? You know what I'm saying? What do they do? Do they start fighting? Are there a lot of arguments? Is there love and peace? Is there like order and measurement? Are people being freed up? Are people being bound? What's happening when you come around? This is going to let you know about these attachments and what's put onto your physical body and what's going on inside your body, inside your soul body, your energetic body, because you have this energy that's literally on attachment. You know what I'm saying? Attachment. They love to attach on you, they stick on you like Velcro, like some Velcro. They sticking on you like boom, boom. You touch and it's doom. You know, it's like Velcro, because, you know, when you stick it in, it can move as soon as it's going to stay there until you have to forcefully peel it away, or more like some damn glue. You know what I'm saying? Like, like some glue. You know what I'm saying? Some super glue, right? These bonds. But see, really, the thing is that you can destroy the bond. You can destroy the bond from these contracts if it's necessary. Some of these contracts existed or included, some of these contracts included a lot of the stipulations, a lot of the problems that you have, but the majority of the problems that you have, they come from your ego. They come from the fake image of you, the fake you. The fake you creates the most of the problems that you have, because that's the one that is unknowing. That's the one that's trying to understand the experience. That's the one that's trying to literally, you know, make sense of the way that shit is going. You understand what I'm saying? The fake self. And a lot of sciences and a lot of indigenous sciences, we call this the Ori, or the Oyo, right? This Ori, you have three of them. You have three heads. And this is the one, the ego, the one that fights against your very destiny that your higher self sends to you. Your higher self, when you talk about God, it's a personal God. Your God is personal. My God is personal. Your God better be personal. It should be. You should first study and improve on yourself. Understand that you and your own greatness are greater than all could be. And you're the dopest motherfucker around. And guess what? So am I. And so should you be. And so should you be. And so should you be. And in that way, collectively, we just some dope motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? And all this comparing and trying to put people on, that's creating attachments, not only for you currently, but you're creating attachments for the generations that follow behind you, because these thought forms will outlive you. Until someone comes to put them in their place and someone stops feeding them, then they will continue to live, and they have lifespans for hundreds of years on the average. Okay. So you just want to be real careful when it comes to those soul attachments, and make sure that you understand how and what you're attaching to yourself when it comes to the way you express your emotions, when it comes to the different things that you're doing, when it comes to the different, you know, abortions. Like, brothers, I mean, look, man, this is what it is, brothers. If you are made your girl have an abortion, right, because of whatever reason, you're going to have some shit to deal with. And that energy is going to be dealing with your ass. All right? The energy is what it is, okay? And they're going to be like, they're mad because, like, you fucked up the deal. They had a contract. They were supposed to be here, and you was like, nah, man, no, and you came through, and so now they're going to want to fuck with you. You understand? Simple. Ladies, if it's you, then it's going to be, and it's already going to be on you anyway, because you have the womb. You're like the real law, and with the exception of the times that you were forced, or, you know, your hand was twisted and things like that. But other than that, you know, in those situations where you actually have a choice to do it, even though it might be hard and things like that, those baby and those energies will definitely connect to you. You'll have that in your aura. So there's different ways that you want to do this. You know, sometimes you may want to release them. Other times you have to think about it. What is an ancestor? What is an ancestor? An ancestor is not only your great grandmama and your great uncle. An ancestor has to do with spirits that are corporal, spirits that never had a physical incarnated body, beings that have never been born of a woman's womb. A lot of times, these are what are being referred to when the ancients and indigenous, a lot of indigenous cultures speak on the ancestors. They're speaking and referring to beings that have never had a physical body, but are in your cosmic bloodline, because you have to understand your consciousness and your awareness is put inside of a capsule. This capsule is able to operate on the physical atmosphere. This vehicle is able to hold whatever occupant inside of it inside the Arctic weather. You can get in there. You can have that hot with the heat. Or inside the tropical weather, you can have it cold, ice cold on the inside with the AC blasting. Right? So your body is that vehicle. Your body's that ATV, that all-terrain vehicle. That's your body, which is nothing but a symbolic or a macrocosmic connection to the earth, which is the body, right? This whole cosmos is a body. So you have to take yourself down to a microscopic awareness and realize that you are microscopically only one. You're like a little ant or a little bug under a microscope crawling around. Your consciousness is large though, but you have condensed yourself down from level to level to level to basically break yourself down into these experiences to demonstrate what the Most High God power is. And that comes through the expression of your willpower. So you have to be able to deal with these contracts, and the more powerful you are, when you get certain tools and certain keys, you'll attach to those keys and those tools, and you'll start doing that shit immediately. You'll get certain knowledge, and it just connect on you, and you just, next thing you know, you're using it right away, and it's going and doing things, is moving and shaking and changing, and you'll have situations that be existing for a long time. You get on this energy, and next thing you know, everything changing and changing hella fast. You see what I'm saying? And that's a sign of a cosmic contract and of an attachment that's a wanted contract, a favorable contract. When people catch these gems real quick and use them real fast, right? You see what I'm saying? So they catch these jewels, they catch these gems mad quick, and next thing you know, they're using them and they're becoming experts quicker than most because they already have it. Look, Jamila, she did that. Y'all know Jamila. Jamila did that. She took these jewels and jumped on it so quick because of her past, and I hope she don't mind me using her as an example. Because of her past lives and her travel through past lives, she was able to gravitate to the information and jump on it real fast and ignite, and boom, next thing you know, she is bona fide because she removed the layer of amnesia. That amnesia is a motherfucker, man. You got to get rid of amnesia. You have to stop with the amnesia, right? I mean, there's countless interns and members that I can name. Big shout out to the members and the interns right now, you know. But besides that, you know, there's countless students and clients that have come through that have done this that I respect on a high level, because I know it's not easy to do that. But once you do it, it's not easy to not do it. That's the thing. Once you do it, it's going to be hard to stop because you're going to be in love with the progress. You're going to be in love with the forward motion. You're going to be in love with the energy surge. You're going to want to do it more, and you're not going to want to let that go. And so you're not going to want to go back to no mundane state or no regular everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think, you know, you have to think like basically, you know, if you're not having experiences, right, of evolution constantly, because every master is a baby. And, you know, a master is a baby on another level. Like the mastery, when you obtain the title of master, mastery basically refers to something that's behind you, right? Something that you've already obtained. So since you've already obtained this particular thing, the mind or the actual design of our quest on this planet is to obtain more or obtain it all, basically, right? Isn't that what you want? You want it all? You want to attain it all. You don't want it all. You don't want nothing held back from you. Or shit, they owe you, you know, $1 million and 50 cents. Don't you want your 50 cents? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. You want more. So if you want more, you want to expand. You want to do that, then you have to keep going more and more and more. So if you're a master, you master that level, and then you start on a brand new level. When you get to that level, you're a fucking baby. You're not a master on that new level. You got to start over from a new level and get to doing it. You're never a master of the now. You're always mastering the now, because the now is forever changing, right? So what you've mastered in the past is mastered, but what you're mastering now, the experiences are changing and the learning is different. If you can't master all the time. You have to learn. You're a baby. You start over as a youth. You start over as a youth. You see what I'm saying? And it's all based on the attachments that you have. They're going to make it easy. So you need to pay attention to yourself. See if there are things that you have attached to your awareness that make life easier for you. If there are things that make life harder, what are those things for you? Forget about your family and friends and spouse and loved ones, so-called loved ones. Forget about them. Forget about all the people, even if they're your best friend. Forget about all of them. What do you love? What do you like? What do you want? That's important as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And once you know what it is you like and what you want, start to summons it and call it. Because half the time, the things that you love, that you want, those things are part of being attached to you, that you've had inside of you, inside your contract before you even took this physical body. You took this physical body. You took this physical body. You came to this place. You did these things physically on that level so that you could literally do and have the experiences that you want. So if you are denying what you love, if you're denying what you want, you're only hurting yourself. You're only hurting yourself. And see, those thought forms, that becomes your willpower to hurt yourself, and you're well versed in hurting you. You know what I'm saying? Other people will definitely hurt you if they can. If they get a chance to harm you, they'll harm you. If they get a chance to take advantage of you, they'll take advantage of you. If they get a chance to leave your ass behind, guess what? You getting left behind. You know what I'm saying? So people are not going to, most of the time, do things to big you up. The normal person is going to do things that benefit the self, right? So the thing is that the true self is synchronistic with everything around it. So it's not, you have to understand the trichotomy of the level of thought in the true self thing, because being selfish, right? Being selfish is also being synchronistic. Being selfish is being synchronistic. Synchronicity is a motherfucker, and it has a lot to do with being selfish. Now, if you're selfish and you're not synchronistic, that's a problem. If you have those who depend on you and you be selfish by not doing it, and you decide to take care of self and not those who depend on you, even if you're a caretaker, that's fucking wrong. That's not the right selfish. But selfish in the sense where if someone's taking advantage of you, you got to take care of you. And you can't be getting taken advantage of. You got to make sure your shit's straight. I mean, goddamn, like we got these content, we got these deals between us. Listen, the deals that I make in this life are trumped by the deals that are made in other lifetimes, right? So if I make a deal right now, I already have another deal going on. You know what I'm saying? This is an older contract. This new shit, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Those of you who deal with contracts, you already know. If I sign a contract with you right now, you can't come in and just get on a new contract unless that's accepted in the contract now, right? So a soul contract or a soul tie that you have with your soul, that you have with your literal soul, that soul contract, you know what I mean? That contract right there, that itself is the reality of life. That's it. That's what it's going to be about right there, period. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're going to have. And those are those attachments. Those are those connections that you're going to have to your body. You know what I mean? Those are those connections that you're going to have. So you always want to look at that and think about the things that you love and take care of yourself. Build yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself. Feed yourself. Put yourself on a plateau. Put yourself on a pinnacle. Put yourself on a pedestal. Put yourself everywhere that you can, high up. You know what I'm saying? And then also take yourself down to the valley, to the pit, to the depths. Take yourself down to the low part and look at yourself in the worst way possible. Look at yourself, talk about yourself bad, let that shit hit all your flaws, expose them. All your mistakes, expose them. Talk about it to yourself. Look at yourself like that. That way it's self-work, right? Go ahead and acknowledge that shit, man. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and acknowledge it. When somebody else does it, it will mean little to nothing because you already know what it is. And they're trying to feed on the energy, but you've already fed the energy and transmuted it to higher self. It's for your progress. It's for your good. It's for your growth. And the reason why you have that flaw, those flaws, that shit, is because if you didn't, you would be too perfect. And motherfucker, you ain't ready to be too perfect because you can't keep them up off of you now. So you need to have a little flaw, a little mistake. If you didn't, it'd be over. You know what I'm saying? So it's good. You know what I'm saying? Embrace your mistakes. Have love for yourself. Go ahead and let the future generations have good attachments to their soul body because you are connecting the future generations with your thoughts. You're connecting the future generations with your attitude. your great-grandchildren, your grandchildren, they're going to exist off of thought forms that you have now, right? But when you reincarnate into a new body, you will be reincarnating into a contract that existed that was already created before that lifetime, just like right now. Any true thing that you find, true love, any big major move that you find it has predetermined. You have opportunities that you create on the fly and on the go, but they are based on predetermined instruments. You understand what I'm saying? Predetermined instruments and predetermined validity. So that's the move. You know, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. I'll be right back.
Will you help me?
Mysterious and my mission secret. I cannot reveal it to you.
Why not?
Because I would then have to kill you.
Pull up, boop. Man, segment is that's pretty raw right there. She said she talked about herself bad, so one day she called the police on the damn self. Motherfucker about to get cut. She was the only person home. That's pretty dope, man. That's pretty dope. That's pretty funny. You know. Yeah, so I want you to think about this attachment of your soul and how your soul can be attached to a whole bunch of things. That shit that you liked when you had that bike. You was just a little dude, a little girl. You had that dress. Yeah, you remember that? You used to put it on. And you used to have that car. And now that car's gone. Damn, all that shit goes. It used to be screaming and hollering and doing the most and everything. Every time you turn around thinking about the thing that you love, it's always temporary. It never lasts. It never sticks around past the life cycle that it has. Everything is based on right now. Everything is based on right now. And right now has to be on point. Because if your right now is not on point, then guess what? What is already set in motion, you may fuck up the program. And if you fuck up the program from what was set in motion, if you mess up the program from what was set in motion, if you destroy what was already put in place, sometimes it takes several lifetimes to get it back in alignment, man. You know what I'm saying? So that deep, deep love that you've been wanting, man, you know what I'm saying? That deep connection that you've been looking for with somebody, or from that job, or from that, you know, from that living in that location. Because you understand that nature is the very beginning. That's God, nature. Natural things are also another expression of God. God is expressed through trees, flowers, grass. God is also expressed through the curve of the back and the round of that at. Oh, God is expressed through natural things. Now, God is expressed through wind and spring, and God is expressed through all kind of things. You understand? So if it's natural, it's godly. If it's unnatural, it's creating a ripple in the effect. Anything unnatural is always fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's going to be more temporary. It's going to have side effects. Nothing natural ever has a side effect. Everything temporary. Synthetic always has a side effect. Synthetic love, synthetic attachments, synthetic contracts. That's not the way to go. And I know y'all know. So keep your head up and keep your eyes internally. Focus on the pupil. Focus on the pupil. Focus on your own pupil. Focus on your pupil. Look deep inside your pupil. Look deep inside your mother. Look deep inside your pupil. Find the middle center of your pupil. Stare at that deep dark. I don't care what color your eyes are. Look at that deep dark part in your pupil. Look at that part. That part, that's where a lot of your ancestors hide. And see, because in the ancient times, the way that they used to be done is when true love was found, it was a staring into the eyes of a partner that used to reveal the self of the other to the other. So one had to tell the other of what was in them, because you can only search yourself so far. But when you look, they didn't have mirrors. So the way they used to do it is I would look at you, you would look at me, and you would tell me what you see. I would tell you what I saw, and that's how it would go. Right? And so the true representation from the true reflection, but the reflection is a type of one-way protection. I don't know if y'all hear what I'm saying, but I know you do. I know you do, because that's what it is, right? So these attachments, cosmic contracts, these attachments that you put on yourself at all times. You constantly add on contractual connections. You constantly put on these contracts to yourself. You constantly put yourself under a contract. You know, you say, I can't do that. It won't work. It ain't going to be. Or you make a favorable, a wanted contract, and you be like, oh, that's going to work. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. You know, a lot of people be like, I'm going to be a millionaire one day. And you be like, that motherfucker ain't going to be a millionaire. But you know what? If they say it enough times, they may not live in this life to be a millionaire. But guess what? They're creating contracts. And those thought forms outlive you. How soon does it take you to reincarnate? I'll probably go into that on a broadcast one day about the delay of reincarnation. The delay of reincarnation, you know. And how many times can you contract? How many times do you know somebody? What if you know that you know them from how many? Somebody familiar. When do you like to know where you know them from? How many times you knew them? Did you know them like 100 years ago? Was it like 1,000 years ago? Was it 2,000 years ago? Did you know them from like millions of years? How long? How familiar are you with them? What is it about them that makes that person familiar? What is it about this energy that you're familiar with? Not necessarily even attached to a person, but from a mood or from a vibration. What about that vibration or that mood makes you feel it? You can tell an attachment because it feeds something. Something gets fed. What's getting fed? When you come around that person or you come around that situation, what happens to you? How do you feel? What goes on? That's the thing that follow that feeling, follow that knowledge, and that's who's getting fed. Is it you? Are you feeding yourself? Or are you feeding another motherfucker? and starving you? That's the question. What's the science? Who's getting fed? You know what I'm saying? Who's getting fed? You getting fed, or are other beings getting fed in your place? Who's getting fed? You or somebody else? You know what I'm saying? And if somebody else is getting fed, then you better be getting fed too. If somebody else getting fed, you better be getting fed too. Because nobody want to starve. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to starve. Right? I mean, hell, you go to work and don't get paid? If you volunteer, then that's because you already have money somewhere else. People who volunteer have money in other places. You're not going to be like, you know, having a light bill to be talking about, I got volunteer work tomorrow. Your light's getting cut off. You got to go volunteer, though. You can't go to work. People who volunteer have money other places. So other than a volunteer, you know, you don't just work for free. Right? So your emotions and the things that you allow attached to you, they're going to get fed. They're going to want something. They're sitting there, they're attached. They're going to want their shit. They're like, man, look, a lot comes with attachments. So that's what I'm trying to say. Hopefully that's making sense. Let me come over here and check the comments. Let me get over here and see what's going on in the room before I shut this down, see what's good in the building with all the family. Segment, what's good? Okay, these comments are not allowing me to go up all the way. Alara Angala, Amunet, Lamika, Segment. We got intern all day. I thought I saw my man in the building too. Lafayette, Divine Maxine, members and interns, what's good? Big shout out. Alara Angala. Peace and love, goddess. Sekhmet, yes. So, goddess Africa, Set, what's good, family? How are you? You know, tomorrow, I want you to think about this. Tomorrow. Valerie Yates, what's good? Lisa Ross, what's good? Bless. Yes, I want you to think about this, ladies. Tomorrow, we're going to be catering to you. Fellas, this is also a situation where you can also get involved in this because, you know, a lot of times, brothers, you know, the catering that we need to do to these ladies, man, it deals, especially if they've had abortions for you, and you know she did that for you. You know what I'm saying? You owe her, man. You kind of owe her something. You know what I'm saying? You got to really kind of make that right, and you have to deal with that not only through the offspring but also through the mother. So tomorrow we're gonna go into a couple sciences with that. We're going to be offering readings for people. We're going to also be allowing people to call in. So if you want to call in, we'll let you be live. That way you don't have to say your name. You don't have to say, you know, nobody have to know who you are or anything like that. You know, we can preserve, you know, your identity. You may not want people knowing your business. I mean, you could also do the private reading as well. But tomorrow's going to be a really good day to go into that, to kind of get that understanding on what you need to do and all of that. So come through, check us out tomorrow, and get some of these jewels tomorrow as we consult to these interdimensional cosmic beings on your behalf once again. What's good, Nadia? What's good, family? How you doing? So look forward to seeing you guys in the cipher tomorrow with Shamanic Saturdays. You know the lineup. We're going to go through that. You know the lineup, Moonlit Raw. And I don't know if you guys seen that. You guys got to have a chance to see that that poetic piece that she published recently. It was dope, you know. But listen, Moonlit Mondays are going to be hitting this week again on Mondays at 7 p.m. And then we have Tantric Tuesdays coming up at 9:30 and Wet Witch Wednesdays coming up at 9:30. And of course, again, I'm back again at 10 o'clock on both Thursday and Friday for Thursday, Take What You Want, the Thursday, and Frequency Friday. You know, so tomorrow we're gonna have a special guest on the show. We're gonna be bringing in some special changes for you over the next few weeks. Y'all don't know. We're working on some things right here. We're putting together some frequencies because I know you guys know about this shift that's happening, right? You know the shift that's going on. You see the shift. You see what's happening. You see what's happening, right? This shift. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're welcome, Alice. You're welcome, Brandy. Yes, Sekhmet. Lamika, definitely y'all be there. Okay. Goddess Alaro, Ungala, Valerie, all day, Alicia Ross. Yeah, so you know, it's gonna be a nice vibration. You know what I mean? If you're really interested in doing something about that, then of course you have the promotional rate tomorrow where you'll be able to come and get the readings tomorrow. But you know, I mean, if you want to make it private, you have the option to do private. If you want to come at a later time, then it's not going to be for the promotional rate, but you'll be able to come and still get the service outside of Shamanic Saturday. You know, but tomorrow we're going to definitely break bread with you, and hopefully, you know, we can, as a whole, we can kind of shed some light on what's going on, because a lot of people are really, like, a lot of you sisters, man, you're doing so well on so many levels, and you wonder what the hell's going on. Well, let me let you know right now, these attachments, these babies, man, they not going nowhere. You're not letting them out, man. They pissed, they mad, and I just happen to see them. You know what I mean? I just happen to see them, so I wanna be able to kind of go into that with you to help you with that. And I do have a specialist with me tomorrow. The goddess she's nice with it. She's gonna break bread with it, kind of let you guys do that. So she's gonna give you some practical steps, and she's gonna break things down in a different way and kind of help you move some energy, and very, very nice. So anyway, one love. We see you guys on the next cipher. You know, peace and love. I see you, Goddess Divine. What's going on? See you in the next cipher.
I love you. The same ones I hurt you. The same ones I hurt you. The same ones you hurt. So this is cycle. My hand reaching out, dapper grabbing for somebody. Seventh dimension, smart, living around the fire, dancing chin. Out the anthem of a militant party. Chaotic, melodic, nomadic, my mind like a shoddy. Hardly anybody wanting hypnotic beyond your logic. Follow me quick with a pack of lines beside me. Inside the maze where you can find me. Fucking up any nigga that want for try me. Righteous but known to be grimy. Follow me deep to meditation. Above all confrontation. Rising at ease. Surrounded by lovers of the beast. My treasure is hitting, got a pleasure for pain. Resurrecting myself while on this plain lane. So easy to suffer, suffer, that's so hard as my game. Out went a girl and goblin, they jaw dropping, dice rolling, kingdom popping, club popping, amulet and jaw charging. Babylon watching like me on stage, got y'all sleeping in the days, easily amazed. Call me crazy when I break off the chains from my mental, so I can ring like the king, do no accidental. Bless spill, now you free your last, try to outlast the last, the gas, try to outrun the gun blast, outlast the past, worship cash, all your life be kissing ass. If I walk down the block and grab your bag, you can tell no allegiance I ever have. Won't salute they flag up for who follow the jazz. Crab niggas step to knees, rare remedies, overseas. Inside jungles, conga right, hunger, since Rose gave up that night. Like it in the cake, flavor extra like my shadow break. Depth the fossil boy, hermaphrodite, no exception, detestable action, all types of fuckery. My frequency, BB, 660 times 2, 720, dimensional weapons, still I suffer by the hands of the ones that say they love me. Still I suffer by the hands of the ones that say they love me. Still I suffer by the hands of the ones that say they love me. Still I pain and pleasure the same, leave irreversible claim. Need to watch what you say, cause an impression of what you make a measurable change. Like your baby, to interpret blame, ritualistic exchange. Chaotic, melodic, nomadic, automated, ignoring the signs. Through the passage of time, removing the disguise, the fabric of lies and time. Still I suffer by the hands of the ones that say they love me. Still I suffer by the hands of the ones that say they love me, love me. Still I suffer by the hands of the ones that say they love me, love me. Still I